What's up guys, JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 5 in my 5th annual 31 Days of Horror. This is a series in which I watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October. This is an annual tradition of mine for the holiday season of Halloween. It is really exciting. This year we're doing 2016 films, and continuing along here we have The Wailing. This film was directed by, let me try to say this, Nan Hung Jin, who directed The Yellow Sea and The Chaser. This film follows a small town, a police officer in a small town who, it's kind of a quiet town, and all of a sudden things start happening. Very odd things. Townsfolk are beginning to have these outbursts. One of them in particular that we're introduced to murders his wife and kids very violently with a knife, and he's kind of just sitting outside in the rain with these boils and rashes all over him and this just terrifying look in his eyes. And then more and more begins to happen in the town, and coincidentally or not coincidentally, a foreign person has entered this town during that period of time in which the incidents occurred, and the town folks begin to be paranoid, and it's causing hysteria, and they believe that this person is some sort of ghost or a witch or warlock or a shaman who is putting spells on the town. And the police officer decides to confront this man. Upon doing so, things get worse, and specifically for his daughter, in which she develops sort of rashes, and she's very sick. Starts out as a sickness, and it just gets worse and worse from there. I'll kind of leave the plot off there, even though a lot more happens, but it's very unpredictable, very surprising, and just, it's just one of those films where nothing is cliched or by the numbers. It's just a very unique story, and not to say that there aren't things that are reminiscent of other films in this film, but they're just scenes. The entire narrative is just a windy road of just new sort of ideas and just a different story. It's just, just things happen in a way to where they're unpredictable, and just they don't feel familiar, except for specific scenes. Like I said, there's a blend of almost, certain scenes that have like a infected or zombie vibe to them, but it's just very isolated incidents in this film, scenes of stuff that is familiar, like exorcisms and stuff, but they're never like the focal point of the entire narrative. They're just scenes. It's very hard to explain. It's just a very unique movie. And one thing that I found really unique about it was the amount of time that we spend with the antagonist. We spend a strong portion of the film with the protagonist, but just in terms of like the camera and like specific scenes that we spend with the antagonist, it's very creepy, and it just kind of was scary. And there are scenes of scares in this film. Very, very creepy, gets under your skin. There's a few times where it definitely got me unsettled. It's not like a ghost story, because that's what I thought this film was just by the title and I guess the cover. It's been described as a supernatural thriller, but it's really much more than that. I mean, this film's well shot, well scored. The setting is good. There's scenes of like just rainy downpour. It's a South Korean film, so there's it's slightly more exotic, and just cultural difference at times that looks very good for this type of film. The ending of this film is really creepy. It's a very well made movie, but if I have to have one complaint, which I do have one complaint, it is that it's just too long. The film is 2 hours 36 minutes. It's very long, and there are scenes in this film that I do feel could have been trimmed down, could have been removed completely. Certain scenes of comedy, it's very few and far between. Don't go into this thinking it's a damn horror comedy or anything, but just certain scenes where the point of the scene has been made, it's gotten across, and the scene just goes on a little too long. Now, you might say that that's a tactic, which it is. Sometimes scenes are specifically left on too long to let a feeling of unease or sort of an unsettled, off balance type of feeling, and I can see that happens in this film, but there's other scenes where that feeling is not the one that's being intentionally delivered, and scenes could have still been cut. I mean, you could have got this film down to 2 hours, 100%, and it's kind of tricky because you can say that, and then when you watch, but you don't know because you don't have the 2 hour cut if it's still as effective. I believe in my heart of hearts that it would have been still as effective, or maybe even more effective. Some scenes just go on too long for me. They just really do. But it's still a very strong movie. I very much enjoyed The Wailing, just for its uniqueness. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. If you are interested in this film, I actually have another copy to give away. I gave away one copy, and I have another copy to give away, as well as a couple of copies of The Neon Demon. So if you're interested in that, please go to iTunes and rate and review the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. I will be choosing random names after we get a certain amount of reviews. There's a couple milestones set, and you'll have a chance to win a copy of either The Wailing or The Neon Demon. I already gave one copy of The Wailing away on Blu-ray with slipcover sealed. So please do that, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another review. Peace.